We all have that moment where we need energy. We probably just chugged a double shot of espresso or cracked open an energy drink that tastes like battery acid and regret, thinking it's going to give us energy. Well, actually, we're wrong. Caffeine doesn't give us energy. It doesn't give us anything. It's just a chemical liar that tells our brain we aren't tired. It's not a battery charger. It's a piece of tape over the car's check engine light. To understand why we're addicted to the bitter bean water, we have to talk about a molecule called adenosine. Throughout the day, while we're doing productive things, like scrolling TikTok or pretending to work, our brain is burning fuel. As a byproduct of all that thinking, it produces adenosine. Think of adenosine as sleep dust. It floats around the brain looking for a place to park. Our brain cells have these little parking spots called receptors. When adenosine parks in one of these spots, it sends a signal to the cells saying, "Hey, we've been awake for 4 hours, let's slow down." The more adenosine parks, the sleepier we get. It's a natural biological process to stop us from dying of exhaustion. But then we decide to intervene with a latte. So, we drink the coffee. The caffeine enters our bloodstream, crosses the blood-brain barrier, and rushes to those receptors. Here is where the caffeine comes in. To the brain, a caffeine molecule looks suspiciously similar to an adenosine molecule. But instead of making us sleepy, the caffeine just sits there. It steals the parking spot. It blocks the adenosine from parking, but it doesn't push the sleep button. It just occupies the space. It's like a guy sitting in a reserved seat at a movie theater but refusing to watch the movie. So now the adenosine is floating around screaming, "Hey, we are tired!" But our brain can't hear it because the caffeine has jammed the door shut. This is why we feel alert. We aren't actually energized. Our body is still tired. Our muscles are still fatigued. Our brain just doesn't know it yet. We are effectively running on fumes, but the fuel gauge is stuck on full. But here is the kicker. The adenosine doesn't just go away. It keeps building up. It's waiting in the lobby. It's forming a massive line outside the club. Eventually, the liver breaks down the caffeine leaves the parking spot, and suddenly, all that built-up adenosine that has been waiting for 6 hours rushes into the receptors all at once. Wham! That is the caffeine crash. We go from feeling like a god to feeling like a damp towel in about 20 minutes. That's not just us being tired. That is our brain paying back the sleep debt we tried to ignore. And it gets worse. Because we have zero self-control, what do we do when we crash? We drink more coffee. This leads to tolerance. The brain, realizing that all its parking spots are being hogged by this imposter molecule, decides to build more receptors. Now we need more caffeine just to block the new spots. And if we stop drinking it, now we have a billion empty parking spots and a flood of adenosine, which is why quitting coffee makes us feel like we have the flu and hate everyone. Also, let's talk about the half-life. People drink coffee at 5 p.m. and say, "Oh, it doesn't affect me." Actually, it does. The half-life of caffeine is about 5 to 6 hours. That means if we drink a coffee at 5 p.m., by 11 p.m., half of that caffeine is still swimming in our blood, poking our brain, keeping us in a state of light, trashy sleep. We might pass out, but we're not getting the deep, restorative sleep we need. We wake up tired, drink coffee to fix it, and the cycle of exhaustion continues. Fun fact, NASA once tested drugs on spiders to see how it affected their webs. The spider on marijuana made a lazy web but gave up halfway through. The spider on caffeine, it made a web that looked like it was constructed by a blind toddler having a seizure. It was a geometric disaster. That is our brain on caffeine. We think we're being productive, but actually we're just doing things faster and worse. So, to summarize, caffeine isn't energy. It's a molecular block that stops our brain from realizing it's exhausted. It borrows energy from tomorrow to use today, and it charges us high interest rates. But we're going to keep drinking it anyway. All right, I'm done talking. If this video gave you more energy than your morning coffee, hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.